Hey there, and welcome to Careers Unchecked, the podcast where we stop checking boxes and start making moves. This is for barrier breakers, career builders, and anyone who's ready to build a career that actually feels like theirs. I'm Brandy Oldham, career coach, interior designer, and year-round iced coffee drinker. Around here, we keep it real. From navigating career pivots to figuring out how to stay balanced when your to-do list feels like it's just never ending. Whether you're chasing that next promotion, thinking about switching things up, or just trying to figure out what's next, you're in the right place. My goal? To help you trust yourself, take action that feels good, and build a career that's sustainable, not stressful. So grab your drink of choice, settle in, and let's get to it. The skills that made you a rockstar individual contributor are often the exact same ones that will make you struggle as a manager. No one tells you this when they hand you that promotion, and it's why so many new managers feel like they're drowning. So let's talk about the mindset shift that changes everything when you step into that first manager role. As an individual contributor, your success is tied to output, your ideas, your problem solving, your ability to get things done. But as a manager, your success now depends on your team's success, not just yours. And that can be a really hard transition for a lot of people. Now, I'm going to pause right here and just say, if you are an individual contributor that recently took on a management role and you're realizing, I don't like this, I just want to give you permission to say, that's okay. Sometimes we realize a little too late that we actually enjoy being an individual contributor and we're not so keen on the people management side of things. That's okay. You don't have to grow your career by becoming a manager. You can actually grow your career by becoming a more valuable individual contributor. But today we're talking about someone who wants to step into the manager position, but is really struggling with the mindset shift. So back to why we're talking about that. So why does this feel so uncomfortable? You're used to earning your wins by doing the work yourself, right? Your bonus, your salary is tied to your results. And now you're being asked to step into a role where your results are derived from a team that you're leading. That is a big shift. And that means that you may not necessarily get the bonus you feel you deserve because you're not directly tied to that work anymore. Handing over that control can feel really risky. It's like you're giving up the skills that made you successful and you're having to learn new ones. And it feels like that because you are. Many new managers tell me I feel lazy or I feel like I'm checked out because I'm not constantly in the weeds doing the work. And that's because you shouldn't be. As a manager, it's your responsibility to kind of step out of the projects and to look at strategy and leadership and enabling your team to actually do really good work. And it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there are those fluky, weird people who seem to step into those roles and they get it. But that's not the case for everybody. So give yourself some grace to know it's going to take some time to take off that individual contributor hat where 1 + 1 = 2 and to start thinking more like geometry, right? And strategy and abstract thinking on how success will be defined for you as a manager. The other part that I see managers, especially new managers, struggle with is delegation. Delegation feels really uncomfortable when you first start using it because, again, it feels like you're giving up control. And a lot of managers fall into the trap of it's just faster if I do it myself. Or they worry that their team member is not going to do it to their standards or they're going to fail and that's going to reflect poorly on them. I need you to make sure that you're understanding something. Delegating isn't offloading tasks. It is, and a very small piece of the process, but it's actually an investment in your team's growth. So when you decide to give up control of a task that you historically have had in your hands or under your supervision, and you give it to someone else, you are providing a growth opportunity for that person. You are now saying, I know this skill, and I want you to now develop and grow this skill, right? And of course, it's going to be faster if you do it. You've been doing it longer, right? It's just like thinking back to kindergartners, right? Learning to tie their shoes. Have you ever watched a kid try to tie their shoes the first few times? It is so painful. You know you need to get out of the house. You know you need to get a move on. And these kids are like making the perfect little loop and tying it all together. It's struggle, at least for me. So as a manager, you want to remind yourself of that. They are learning to tie their shoes for the first time. They are learning to do this task for the first time. It's going to take them longer. It's going to be more complex in their mind. And it's going to often require more guidance than it will 3 weeks, 3 months down the road. So if you are struggling with delegation, I want to give you a framework that will make this a little bit easier and kind of supports that mindset shift that we're talking about. So number one, I want you to assign ownership of the thing that you need them to do, not just the task, right? So instead of saying, hey, can you send this email? Try, can you manage client follow-up this week? That includes the email, but it also includes the strategy behind how many emails am I going to send? Who do I need to email? What is the content that needs to be put into it versus just the task of actually sending a single email? Number two, you have to give context. One of the things that leadership really messes up all the time is they forget to explain why something is important or why it's connected or why it matters. Your team needs to see the bigger picture. You as a manager, you know often what the bigger picture is and you can see how these things connect. But as the person underneath you, it's really hard to connect all those dots. You need to provide that vision. And number three, you need to start coaching. Management isn't just about correcting and curtailing people's actions. That leads you into micromanagement, which nobody likes. Coaching is not stepping into fixing things. It's actually guiding someone forward. So instead of saying, hey, this email here, we need to change this, it's instead saying, this email could be stronger. Can you help me think of ways that we can make this stronger? I really would like to emphasize blank. You might be surprised by the ideas they come back with. They might be better than yours. So, delegation is always going to feel easier when you stop asking yourself, can they do this as well as I can? And you start asking yourself instead, what can I teach them so that they can succeed? Or if you're really a powerhouse manager, what can I teach them so that they can do this better than I can in the future? Because when your team wins, you win. So here's the thing. If you're overwhelmed as a new manager, it's not because you're bad at this. No one teaches you how to do this thing. It's because you're trying to win the game using the wrong playbook. So I want you to start thinking about your team members as elements of your team, elements that need to be coached, elements that need to have tasks delegated to them, and people that want to grow and know the why behind things. Once you make that mindset shift, your management is going to be so much better and it's going to flow a lot easier as well. Thanks for joining me today on Careers Unchecked. If you've got a career question or just need someone to bounce an idea off of, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take a breath, take a step, and keep moving forward. You've got this.